They begin in Iqaluit on September 10th with the focus on colonial violence. The inquiry will then move to Quebec City on the 17th with expert hearings on the criminal justice system. On October 1st, hearings will move to Winnipeg and look at the child welfare system. The final hearing will take place in St. John's beginning October 15th. The focus on sexual exploitation. Joining us now to talk about the upcoming hearings is the Chief Commissioner of the National Inquiry, Miriam Buller. Commissioner Buller, thanks for taking some time for us. These final public hearings will focus on colonial violence, the criminal justice system, family and child welfare, and sexual exploitation. Are these some of the main drivers you've been hearing behind violence against Indigenous women and girls?
Yes, these are four major topics or areas for further investigation based on what we've heard from families and survivors across Canada. In addition, of course, we've already had 5 similar hearings, one on Indigenous laws, one on racism, one on human rights, one on government services, and then a more general policing. So these are areas where we know we have to dig deeper.
APTN is reporting today about the exploitation of Indigenous women and girls in Winnipeg, which authorities say has only increased since the death of Tina Fontaine. What do you think it's going to take to stop the exploitation of Indigenous women and girls?
Oh, I think it's going to require a major shift in thinking by all Canadians, that this is not just an Indigenous problem or a Winnipeg problem. This is a national problem. And as I've said before, it's a national tragedy. And it just simply has to stop.
As you've likely seen, there's also a report out this week in Manitoba by an arms-length government agency that found allegations of rape and sexual assault in Northern First Nations at the time of major hydro developments in the area. The Assembly of Manitoba Chief says it will be forwarding the inquiry, the report. Have commissioners been hearing testimony about the connection between sexual violence and resource development?
Yes, we've heard from people all across Canada about the increase in violence against Indigenous women when there are what's commonly called man camps established in a community where there have been large numbers of transient workers, for example. This is something we've heard time and time again across Canada.
The final hearings are scheduled to wrap up on October 18th. What will yourself, the other commissioners, be working on after that?
After our last hearing, which will be in St. John's, Newfoundland, I'm happy to say, we're going to be hearing what we call closing submissions from parties with standing. So those are organizations, governments who have been following the inquiry, providing evidence, things of that nature. It's time for them to do their wrap-up of what they think we should find in the way of facts and what we should do in the way of recommendations. But after that, it's roll up our sleeves and get really busy with writing.
Commissioner, appreciate you taking some time to speak with us today and look forward to the upcoming hearings.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk to APTN. Thank you so much.